Do you want this loading screen for your Roblox game? If so, you have clicked on the right video. Today I am going to show you how to create a professional custom loading screen in Roblox Studio. First, add a screen guy inside StarterGui, name it loading screen, and inside it add a frame and name it background. Change the background color of frame to a dark color and make the size fit the full screen. Next, add a text label, make the background fully transparent, change the color to white, increase the size, and move it to the center. Lastly, change its font to Luckiest Guy. And change its text to your game name. Name the text, game title, and duplicate it. We are going to be using this one for the status text. So name it status text, move it down, and change the font to the default font. Next, change the text to loading assets. And decrease the font size. Next, add another frame and name it bar container. After that, move it down and scale it. As you can see here, the loading screen doesn't scale properly across all sizes. First, make the width of title bigger in properties by making the first scale value 1. Then do the same for the loading assets text. Next, just add a UI corner and UI stroke to the bar container and make it look better by changing colors. Lastly, add another frame to the bar container and name it progress bar and make its width 0 and height 1. After that, add a UI corner on UI gradient to the progress bar and make it a dark to light blue gradient like this. Then, duplicate one of the text labels. We are gonna be using this for the asset counter, so name this asset counter and change the text to assets loading. Change the color and text size accordingly. Finally, we are done with GUI. So now move the loading screen GUI to ReplicatedFirst so that this is the first thing which will be shown to user. Then add a local script inside ReplicatedFirst and name it loading controller. I'm gonna be going through the script a bit fast, so if you can't keep up, the script will be in the description below. Also, this video took me a long time to make, so I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe this video. Anyways, back to the video. We start our script with a settings configuration table. This table lets developers customize the minimum load time, maximum timeout duration, and toggle between showing real assets or fake smooth progress. Next, we fetch 4 critical core engine services. These are ReplicatedFirst, Tweens service, players, and ContentProvider. The very first action we take is calling ReplicatedFirst remove default loading screen. This instantly removes the default Roblox loading animation before the client player fully initializes. Now we fetch the local player instance and wait for their player guy folder. Next, we establish direct object references to every essential UI component. We safely store the original pixel positions of our bar container, status text, and asset counter inside dedicated baseline variables. Now we declare a custom local helper function named applyShake. Inside this function, we use math.random to generate a jitter. Inside the same function, we update the position property of our bar container, status text, and asset counter by adding these random pixel offsets to their baseline positions. This loop creates a high energy shaking effect while keeping their absolute positions anchored in the correct zone. Next, we record the precise start time of the game, join using os.clock. Our system begins here by updating the text labels to display loading game and initializing. We create a background thread using task.spawn to animate our progress bar smoothly from 0% up to 50%. while waiting for the game workspace to fully load. Inside this while loop, we continuously trigger our shake function and yield based on our designated shake speed setting. Then we change our status label text to scanning assets and collecting assets. We establish a local function called collectAssets to parse the entire workspace data structure. We use an empty table named scene to dynamically track unique asset ID values and completely filter out any duplicate files. Inside our asset collection loop, we look at every single object in the game world to check if it contains visual or audio properties. This includes decals, textures, images, sounds, mesh part structures, special meshes, skyboxes, particle emitters, beams, trails, and custom surface appearance maps. Once an asset property is found and verified as unique, its asset URL is securely inserted into our local assets table using table.insert. An if statement checks if we have valid assets found and if the real asset tracking setting is enabled. If true, the system calls ContentProvider Preload Async to stream the collected asset list straight into the player's hardware memory. Inside our real preload callback function, we update our progress percentage across the remaining 50 to 100% range. Phase 4 activates an extra calculation loop. Once all loading phases are fully finalized, we hardcode the progress bar scale to exactly 100%. We instantly restore our bar container, status text, and asset counter back to their exact original length. We initialize a smooth 1 second fade duration variable and configure our tween info to use a clean quadratic easing style. Then we execute the play method on every single configured fade tween simultaneously. Now we are finished, let's check out the loading screen. And it seems as though we have an error. Oh, I forgot to add an equal sign. Alright, finally the loading screen seems to work, but it seems to have a text placement issue. Let's fix that. It seems as so the issue is with the 3 text labels being placed in the wrong order, so let's fix that by putting it below the screen guy group. Alright, the loading screen seems to work with no bugs. Bye.